What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Spilling Wine with Kelly is Lit. You already know. We got a new logo. Look at this.
Looks very pretty.
Thank you. And today I have a very special guest, my baby Jackie.
Jackie. I'll say my last name, McCarty.
Not the whole government.
Yeah, for real. Can't give out the social though. Private.
Why?
It's private.
You got mad followers. Run that cloud up.
For real.
We could start talking about how we met.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to explain it though.
Yeah, it was kind of like weird. I just remember our boss texting me and he was like, "Hey, you're training a new girl tonight." And I was like, "Who?" And he was like, "No, because I normally don't like the new girls. I really treat them very shitty and it's so bad." But like,
have you had like a bad experience with one of them?
I did, as a matter of fact. She, in the beginning, she was very sweet to me, but then she like started to like drift off and do her own thing. And like, don't get me wrong, like I get it. You want to make your own money. You want to like compete for shit. But like, she would like drag my name out and be like, now like she waters her shit down and like,
what?
First of all, we get the same bottles. Like what we're paying for the same shit. What do you mean mine's watered down? What are you gonna do, spit in it?
Like what the fuck?
No,
like,
really.
What do you mean it's watered down?
I mean, like, I don't even know, but she's actually on the, she's not with us anymore. So let's just say that because I don't want to give out too much information to the point where I'm subbing this girl. Cause, like,
I know what you mean.
Yeah, so. Like she's very sweet though to me. Like after, like she had a sweet personality, but I don't know if I'd work with her again though, to be honest.
Interesting.
But me and you, we ended up meeting at Reggiano's.
Yeah.
That was the first night. It was the whiteout. And I walked in with my little tiny skirt and I was like, this girl's wearing jeans. Yeah. I was like, where was my memo for this?
I literally had to buy an outfit last minute because I had nothing white.
Did you really?
Yeah, and the jeans didn't even fit me. I was like suffocating. I was like, what is this?
Girl, it's fun. My boobs are always suffocating every time we work. But yeah, we ended up like talking. It's always that first encounter that's always so awkward when you meet people. But
I wasn't that awkward.
No, you really weren't. I think it's just like with me, like the first time I ever meet somebody, I'm either telling from that first time if I'm going to be friends with them or I'm not.
Yeah.
That's why I could tell with the other girl we worked with on Halloween.
Oh, God.
I knew I wasn't going to
She gave us like dirty looks. Remember when I was like, oh, should I keep the skirt on or should I like, take it off? She was like, your skirt is already short.
I wanted to punch her in the face.
I was like, wait, first of all, I didn't know who the fuck she was. I thought she was like a friend of somebody.
Literally nobody knew who she was.
I thought she was like a friend of somebody, and I was like, wait, who is this?
Half the time I don't know where they find these girls. I couldn't tell you.
I couldn't tell you either.
But I mean, definitely the first night that you worked though, you did very good for your first night. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
My first night, I was very nervous. I didn't sell.
Really?
I sold maybe like a bottle. I was really nervous. I think it was also because at the time I was with my ex-boyfriend and he was there.
Oh.
And I was like, I don't want to be too like flirty with guys and like seem unloyal. Like,
right.
Be for real. Be fucking for real.
It's crazy though because I was never like a party person. I was always like, a homebody, stay in the house. So I would have never saw myself like doing something like this, but
yeah,
it's fun.
I was always a party person. Holy
really?
Shit. My entire high school experience was just me going out every single weekend, drinking constantly with my friends. There were so many stories I could tell you right now that it'd take up the whole damn hour. I kid you not.
Oh my God. What was the worst thing that ever happened?
I broke my ankle.
No way. Drunk?
Yeah.
What?
It was Halloween. It was my junior year, I think. It was during COVID, so like I was online for school and like a bunch of me and my friends were like, let's go to Lemon Creek Park and let's go drink and like this and that. And I was like, all right, bet. So I ended up going and I was hanging out with a bunch of my friends. And I'm like, at the time, I was very much the type of person you would need to put a leash on because I would run away from you. And I ended up like running down the street. Like, you know that street near the hospital over there? Conveniently right in front of a hospital too. There was a pothole.
Oh, God.
And I ran and I fell into the pothole. And I kid you not, all of a sudden I felt my ankle start to hurt. And when you're drunk, you normally don't feel pain at all. So that's why I was like, okay, something's wrong. So I look at my friend and I'm like, Emily, my ankle is throbbing. She was like, what do you mean? And I was like, no, it's throbbing. I start crying. God. I'm like on the floor. I'll show you the video later. She like took a video and goes, I did a bad job watching. But
oh my God.
I ended up spraining my ankle. Her mom came to pick us up. And then the next day I woke up and my ankle was like fully exploded and it was like black. It was blue.
Oh my God.
And then my dad took me to the hospital because my mom was at work. I was in the ER for like 3 hours just sitting there.
All because you fell?
All because I fell.
Oh my God.
But you know what? I've always been a klutz growing up. It's so bad. I fall everywhere. I'm surprised I haven't fell.
I was just about to say. I was literally about to say.
And with my big ass heels that I wear.
Right.
Oh my God.
I'm surprised we haven't like spilled a tray. You know I spilled a tray on somebody's head once?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. But it wasn't like the shots. It was like, you know when there's liquid on the tray?
Oh, yeah.
I had it, like I held it up and I was walking around and I spilled it on his head.
No, the worst was when, oh my God, I was working. I'm not going to say which location because it was an old one and we don't work with them anymore. But I was working and all of a sudden this really big guy bumps into me. Like I'm not the type of person to call somebody fat, so I'm not going to use the word fat, but he was big. And he bumps into me and I look at him and I go, you just spilt $25 worth of shots off my tray. I said, can you please give me the money for that because that's my money? And he was like, no, that's not my fault. You bumped it to me. And I was like, are you kidding me, bro? I was like, there's no shot right now.
And what happened after that?
Beast kicked him out.
Wait, no, you have to tell them what happened Friday night.
Oh my God. Don't even get me started. So Friday night, me and Kelly were working. What was the place called? I don't even remember. Oh, M1. Mighty Crab, I think. I think it's called Mighty Crab. It's by Staten Island Mall. And we were working, and all of a sudden, like me and Kelly usually team up. So we walk around, one of us holds a tray, and the other one carries the money. Normally, Kelly holds the tray because I don't trust myself. And basically, we sold shots to this group of kids. And they ended up taking the 2 shots off the tray as I'm putting the money in my fanny pack. And then all of a sudden, I turn around, and I'm ready to go. And I'm like, I turn back around, and I'm like, where's Kelly? She's still with the same group of kids. So I'm like, oh, maybe one of them's flirting. Then I go over, and I see these kids take 2 more shots. And I'm started bugging out so bad. I was so mad. Like, listen, I get it. It's $10. I shouldn't be mad over $10. But I'm broke. So, like, that $10 could have made a difference. It could have bought me coffee today, you know? But we ended up I told the bouncers, they ended up, like, ganging up on these group of kids.
So, like, screaming in their faces and all that.
Yeah. It was kind of funny, though, I'm not going to lie. And then do you remember when they came up to the bar trying to get the free shots? I ended up rejecting them.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
I saw that.
I was like, you really think I'm going to give you a shot right now? Like, are you kidding me? I was like, give me $10.
Oh, my God.
That was bad.
That was crazy. Bro, shit always be happening there.
Every time I work, there's always something wrong. Whether it's with our boss, living like Larry, being drunk in his car. Whether it's with
That's the first time I've seen him drunk, though.
Me too. I'm not gonna lie.
He never gets drunk.
I've never seen him drunk ever. But that was really funny. I'm not gonna lie.
It was.
Like, he's normally a funny guy, but just seeing him like out of it, like I was just like, damn, do I look like that?
Do I look like that every night?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Bro.
Do you have any stories of you drunk? Like bad ones?
I usually know my limits, so I don't really black out like that. But there was one time I really blacked out so bad and I couldn't even walk, and I walked into a tree and and my friend literally had to take me into the bathroom of Crumble Cookies, I think it was. Or Insomnia Cookies, whatever the fuck it was. I don't remember because it was drunk. Yeah,
probably
in the city.
Insomnia.
And they had to literally like drag me into the bathroom and like help me pee. And I don't remember.
Oh.
And that was like the only time I like blacked out.
Oh my
in my life.
God. I'm going to feel really terrible for saying this just because I know exactly who's going to watch this out of people that know me. But I'm just going to say the story anyway. So I actually, oh my God, I sound like a man. I'm losing my voice. I actually went, this was like before you started. This is when I first started working there, like June, July for the bar. And I was working one night and I get to the bar and the owner actually told me, we're not doing shot girls tonight. We're not doing shot girls tonight. I was like, what do you mean?
Really?
I was like, I drove all the way out from Jersey for this stupid shit and you're not letting me work. Like, what? So I ended up turning to my boyfriend and I'm like, they're not letting me work. And he's like, so do you just want to stay? Do you want to drink? And I was like, yeah, why not? Like, let's just party.
They really didn't let you do it?
No. They were literally like, we don't want to do shot girls tonight because it was dead.
Oh.
It was like, there was like barely anybody there.
But they're not losing money from that.
No, they're really not. I would be the one losing money.
Exactly.
They're gaining money because I'm paying them for the bottle.
Exactly.
But whatever. I ended up not working and I knew one of the girls personally, one of the bartenders, so she was giving me like free drinks for the night. But so I ended up drinking in my weight that night and it got like really bad to the point where my boyfriend had to like carry me out of the bar basically.
Oh my God.
Like he was like dragging me out of the bar. He's like, we gotta go. And then I was trying to find us a ride because our boss said he was going to drive me to my grandma's house because I was sleeping there that night. And he ended up leaving.
He left you there?
Yep, he left me there. Where did he go?
Like
he went to another bar.
Oh, sounds like him.
Yep, sounds like him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up trying to figure out like ordering an Uber. I was asking all the bouncers, I was like, please give me a ride. Please give me a ride. Like, I'll love you forever. And then none of them gave me a ride and I was really mad at them. I mean, I got over it now. I love my men. I love them over there.
Yeah.
But I ended up cursing my boyfriend out for some reason. I don't know if I was just mad. I don't know if I was just, like, really drunk. I cursed him out so bad, Kelly.
Really?
And I had no recollection of this the next day.
Oh, my God.
And I was staying in Staten Island the next day.
Was he mad at you?
Yeah. I felt bad, though, because, like, when I woke up, I was like, something's off. But then he ended up coming out to breakfast with me and my grandma. So I was like, okay, maybe we're okay. It's like, maybe I didn't act too bad. And then he was like, we'll talk later. And I was like, fuck. And then we ended up, I used to go on deliveries with him at his job. So we ended up sitting in his car, just like talking it out. And actually, no, before we ended up talking it out, one of his best friends called me and was like, yeah, you cursed him out bad. And I was like, I was like, I really got to make up for this shit now. Like, so I went to Dollar Tree and I ended up making him, what the hell? I ended up making him like a cute little like apology basket with like his favorite colors and like candy and shit. And then I bought him like car air freshener, the only one that he uses, probably the only one any Staten Island boy uses is black ice.
Yeah.
The way you rolled your eye. Bro, it smells like, you know what it smells like? Acetone. Like, I've gotten into my friend's car so many times, be like, your car smells like acetone. And she would be like, good. She would literally be like, what do you mean it smells like acetone? She was like, how do you always smell that when you get in my car? And I was like, I don't know, but it smells like acetone. Then one day my mom brought it home and put it in the car. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, no.
But yeah, we ended up fighting in the car. And then I'm not going to go and expose the emotions that we're going through because I kind of feel bad doing that. But we ended up making up and then we were fine from there. But like, I think that's the worst he's ever seen me. Yeah. And like, but like the fact that he even like drove me back to my grandma's and like walked me into the apartment, like he made sure I got in safe. And like, he was a good kid when we were together. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm not gonna shit on him.
Yeah.
Don't know who's watching.
Facts. He's probably watching.
Probably. Hey.
He probably is.
I've had times where I would show up to work and they'd send me home because of the fact that it was either dead or they had multiple shot girls and the scheduling just got fucked up. Like, there were so many times where I ended up just being like, I'm not working tonight. And, like, my parents would, like, flip out because, like, I live far.
You live, like, an hour away, right?
Yeah, like, I literally live in Jersey. So I drive all the way out here for this shit. And I kid you not, like, it's not fun to come here and spend $20, $30 on gas and tolls and then have to go home because of the fact that there was a schedule mix-up.
Yeah.
But now that, like, we've kind of separated the teams, I'm not gonna lie, like, the shot girling schedule has gotten a lot better. Like, I mean, now I'm kind of on, like, every weekend with you, so it's like, but, like, you know what it is?
Because there's not many of us.
Yeah, but I don't know why they keep hiring more.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why. Listen, do it for seasonal events, and then they have the normal shot girls that are just always there. Like, honestly, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, when I go, people, like, look for us.
I know.
Like, I've had people come up to me and be like, where were you last weekend? And I'm like, I took off. Like, I wanted to have a weekend off or a day off. Like, I'm genuinely not the type of person to, like, go out and party, like, every single night or every single weekend. Mm-hmm. But if I have to work, I don't care. But, like, it's kind of funny that, like, the regulars that I usually see a lot, they'll come in and be like, oh, my God, Jackie. Like, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, who the fuck are you? But I'm like, hey, I recognize you. Like,
there's a lot of regulars. They come, like, to every party.
Oh, yeah. So. I've seen a bunch of people, like, from when I was even at Lobo. Like, I've seen a bunch of people that just came, and that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. What are some of your non-negotiables in a relationship? I guess, like, your standards for
like
guys.
That, yeah. Honestly, when it comes to guys, my standards are extremely high now.
Me too.
Because of the fact that I've been fucked over so many times.
Yeah.
By multiple guys that told me the exact same thing, and I fell for their same trap every time. Mm-hmm. But listen, you're a girl. You can only hope that there's a good guy out there. But my standards for a guy would have to be, like, somebody that's very, like, family-oriented. I like somebody that's driven. I like somebody that's motivated. Obviously somebody that's, like, this is more of, like, a preference, like, type-wise. Like, somebody that's fit, too. Like, I like guys that go to the gym. Mm-hmm. But I definitely do like guys that, like, respect you. Yeah. Like, when you say no, don't keep going.
Respects boundaries.
Exactly. Like, even, like, so I'm not going to go and out the kid, but Kelly was kind of with me last night, and she got me out of a bit of a situation. So I was hanging out with this kid. I was taking care of him, to be honest, most of the time. But he wanted to do more. And
the one that was like, throwing up?
Yeah. Oh. We're going to call him Jeff. That we're gonna call him Jeff. So Jeff spotted me out in the bar, and he was like, first of all, let's talk about the fact that he was dancing with another girl earlier in the night, and I
didn't even see him.
I called him out for that when he was in my car, and I was like, you were with another girl? I was like, was I your second choice? He was like, no, you were never my second choice. I just didn't think you were able to, like, hang out with guys after work. And I was like, normally, like, we don't, but I was like, you know, I know you from, like, one of my friends, and, like, you know, we graduated together, so, like, obviously I know who you are.
But did you guys ever talk?
We talked a few times because of my, like, best friend. Like, she was in the institute with him in Tottenville. Mm-hmm. But basically last night we just ended up, like, talking, whatever. Then, I kid you not, this kid gets up out of my car, goes behind my car, and starts throwing up. And I'm like, oh, my God. I'm like, I'm going to be a mother right now. And, like, I wasn't planning on doing anything with this kid. Like, I had no intentions. I didn't want anything. Yeah. He was, in a way, kind of pushy. And I knew his reputation a little bit, but, like, I didn't know enough to go and be like, okay, maybe he's not, like, terrible. But, like, I knew he was a sweet kid. So then anyway, he gets back in the car, and he's like, do you have gum? And I'm like, yeah, I have gum. Like, you want gum? And I gave him gum. He puts the gum in his mouth, and then, I kid you not, he grabs me by my face and just fully, like, leans in and just starts kissing me. And I'm like, bro,
after
you just threw up. What are you doing? You know what I did? I literally went with my lips. I was like, what are you doing? So then, basically, everybody kept calling me too during this process. Like
I was calling her.
I got a call from her. I got a call from my boss. I was like, where the fuck did
Jackie go?
I got a call from my boss. I got a call from my mom. I was like, oh my God, bro. Like, what's going to happen right now? But then I ended up, like, bringing him out of my car. And I was like, we need to go get you water. Like, you need water. Mm-hmm. You're literally stumbling. You're fumbling your words. I was like, you need to sober up. I said,
he was a little OD.
I know. I was like, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help take care of you. But, you know, you're not getting anything out of this. I hope you know. So then I'm sitting there. And all of a sudden, he's like, no, I don't want water. He's like, why don't you come back to my house with me? I was like, what do you mean come back to your house? I was like, what do you think this is? I was like, you think I'm going to, like, read you a lullaby and, like, give you a kiss on the forehead goodnight and tuck you in? Like, what do you mean? So then I ended up, like, just saying to him, like, no, let's go get out of the car. Let's go get water. So we ended up going back in front of the bar. But then his friend saw us outside and was like, hey, like, you know, I have water in my car for him. So I was like, great, this kid needs water. So we ended up getting him a water bottle. And I go, I'm not going back to my car until you chug this. I said, I was literally like, we stood outside to get him fresh air. And then he was cold. So we went in my car to warm him up, and I was freezing too.
It was cold last night.
Yeah, it was. And then I was trying to warm myself up, so I like put on my seat warmers, and then all of a sudden, sitting there, what happens? Opens my door, goes behind my car, and throws up again. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what is this kid on? What did he drink? So then he gets back in the car. What does he do? You got gum?
Oh my God.
I give him another piece of gum. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give you 2 this time. Like, hold on to the other one, I guess. What does he do? Puts the gum in his mouth, grabs my face, and tries kissing me again. I'm like, are you kidding me, Jeff? Like, what's going on? What's going on? So then I ended up telling this kid, I'm like, all right, listen, like, you got to go home. Like, I can't do this. I was like, I got to drive my friend. I got to drive Kelly home. He's like, who's Kelly? Who's Kelly? And I was like, Kelly's the other shot girl. And he was like, who's Kelly? And I was like, Kelly's the girl that I work with. And he's like, what's her Instagram? And I'm like, Kelly is lit. And he was like, the fuck? What do you mean Kelly is lit? And I was like, that's her Instagram. And then I told him, and then all of a sudden, he lifts his neck like this and goes, and I was like, what are you implying here? He's like, can you give me a neck kiss? And he was like, I want to see if you could do it. And I was like, what game are you trying to play right now? Like, what? So then I was like, all right. And I just gave him a kiss on the neck. And then he was like, no, you can do better than that. And I was like, nope, because this is going to go too far and I don't want anything to happen. I said, I'm really not here with this intention, especially since you're piss drunk. And then I made it very clear to him. I was like, I don't do anything with guys that aren't like boyfriends or like serious relationships. He looks me dead in the eye, Kelly, and he goes, who said I wasn't serious about you? I was like, I literally look at him and I go, Jeff, we became friends 30 minutes ago. I was like, what's wrong with you? Oh, so then he was like, but like, I am serious about you. And I was like, you don't even follow me on Instagram.
I remember that.
He was like, how do you know? And I was like, because I know my followers. I was like, you know, I've seen you on Instagram before through like a mutual friend. And like, you don't even follow me. And he was like, do you follow me? And I was like, no. And he was like, all right. He's like, so you're not coming back to my house? Long story short, kid would not take no for an answer. Like, it was getting bad to the point
he was a little obnoxious.
But before you came in the car, he was being mad touchy. Oh. And that's when I was like, he was trying to like touch me every which way. And I literally took his hands and I like put them on my shoulders or like around my like back or like whatever. Like, I wanted nothing to do with that situation.
How did he get in your car?
He looked at me and was like, can we go back to my house? In the bar. And I was like, no. He was like, I'm freezing though. And I was like, okay. I was like, you know, we can go warm up in my car. Like, you know, whatever. I said, I'm cold too. Mm-hmm. And that's how like we went in the car. But it wasn't like terrible. Like, we were just sitting in there for like a little bit and then we went back in. But like, I've known this kid a little bit through like friends and stuff. But the fact that he was capping every single thing. Like, do you remember when he was saying last night, I got 0 bodies, Kelly. I got 0 hookups. I've never gotten head before. You could have been the first girl to do it, but no, you said no. And I was like, yeah, I said no. Respect that. I feel like guys today don't respect that half the time.
No.
And I really don't like that. Grow up.
Like, do you have like a specific physical type?
Ooh. I have 2 different types, actually. Like, nobody ever knows this because they've only ever seen me with brunettes, but I love a good blonde guy.
Yeah.
I love blondes, like surfer boy type with like light eyes.
Me too.
Or like sometimes they can have like brown eyes, but like I love dirty blondes. Like those are really cute. I can't deal with a platinum blonde though.
No.
That's like too much to maintain. I feel like there's no shot anybody's naturally platinum blonde. So you got to be dying that. And I just don't think I could do that. But my other type, which is really funny because I've literally dated only brunettes. And most of them were tall. But my preference is like you have to be at least like 5'9", 5'10", or over. I'm such a sucker for blue eyes though.
Me too.
Like really bad. Well, you have really nice eyes.
Oh, thank you.
I have hazel, so it's like I have a little bit of green in them, but like it's mostly brown. But like I've had like guys say to me like, "Oh my God, your eyes are so pretty," and then like I'm looking at them and I'm like, "What do you mean? You have blue? Like shut up." But
some people love brown eyes though.
Yeah, they really do. And I, you know what it is? The people with blue eyes or light eyes, they like brown more. And I think it's more because of the fact that like
they don't have it maybe.
That and like their eyes are also like really sensitive.
They are.
Like you're mad sensitive to the sun,
they
to
are.
light.
Oh my God. My eyes burn in the sun.
I know. I feel so
bad.
Like my recent ex-boyfriend, he had like blue eyes and I was like in love with his eyes. Oh my God. Every time I would look at him, I felt like I would fold in my knees.
Yeah.
But honestly, everybody says to me, like, what kind of guy do you see me with? Do you see me with, like, a big buff guy or a scrawny guy?
Probably someone, like, tall and skinny.
That's exactly what I dated.
Yeah.
It's so weird to think, but, like I'm short. I'm really short. I'm 5'1". So any boyfriend I've ever had was always taller than me, but I've only dated, like, really skinny guys. And like my most recent ex and my first ex-boyfriend, they were both very similar in the way that their bodies were very skinny. And everybody would say to me, like, even my family would say to me, like, you bring home these scrawny boys. And I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like, I don't look at their body. Like, I look at kind of like their face. Yeah. Like, I definitely feel like the face is what gets me like first. And everybody lies. Like, everybody says, oh, personality. Shut up. We all know if you weren't attracted to the person, you wouldn't have, like, hung out with them in the first place. Right. Like, I feel like everybody lies about that. But, yeah, I definitely have a type to either be with very scrawny or very big. No in between. I can't have a medium. I feel like there's no, like, I did date a guy with a dad bod, though, but it lasted, like, 3 days.
Was he tall, though?
He was, he lied about his height, but he was like 5'9". He claimed he was 6 foot, and then he stood next to my cousin.
You can't even do that.
I know. He claimed he was 6 foot. He was 5'9". He stood next to my cousin because my cousin is 5'10". She's a girl. She's 5'10". So we had them stand next to each other, and I looked, and he was shorter than her, and I was like, damn, you didn't pass the test. You lied. But my most recent ex, he didn't lie about his height. We did the same test and he was taller than her. So I was like, all right, good. But I definitely love height on a guy.
Me too.
I like looking up at them. Like I can't. But you know what? It's so weird. Like when they look down at you, like it's a completely different angle.
I know.
Like I don't get it. Oh, what about you know what we should get into? What? Ex-best friend stories.
Oh God. I had this ex-best friend. We were actually best friends for like 12 years. Like our parents were close and all that. We would go on vacations together. She would be at my house like every day. But she was so envious of me. You know when you have that best friend, but they just want to be you so bad. And
those are called fans.
Fans. So I was like probably 15 and I just started like singing, whatever. Um, you know, like I used to sing in front of her all the time. I was
Yeah.
doing like covers on YouTube and stuff like that. And she wanted to sing so bad. Like she always tried to sing with me and stuff. And I'll never forget one time I was singing and she started recording herself like lip syncing and sent it to her crush and like tried to make it seem like it was her singing.
No, because there's no shot.
I'm so serious.
That's
I
embarrassing.
swear.
That's really
I
embarrassing.
swear.
Ew. I don't like
Yeah.
that. That's really bad.
Yeah.
I have I've had so many like girl best friends like in my past that I had like either not a problem with, but like some stupid shit would always happen.
Yeah.
But I had one girl that we were best friends since like kindergarten, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got up to like 7th grade and we were outside on the playground, like recess time. And then I remember that day, like, and I did basketball growing up. So like I was always sore from like working out and stuff. And we ended up just like in a group huddle, just talking. And then the girl jumped on my back.
What
And
the
I was
hell?
like, what are you doing? And she was like, oh, like I want a piggyback ride. And I was like, no, not today. I was like, you know, like I'm really not feeling good. Like my body's really sore from practice last night. And she was like, okay. 2 seconds later, what does she do? Jumps on my back again. So at this point, I'm like, all right, I need to get physical. So I pushed her and she fell on the ground. So then she yanks my hair. And I'm like, there's no shot you're fighting me right now. Like, are you kidding me? We go to a Catholic school.
Oh God.
How old are you in 7th grade? Like 12? Like we're 12 years old. We've been best friends for years. Our parents were best friends. And basically what happened was I ended up turning around. I yanked her hair so hard that she fell to the ground.
Oh my God.
And she had like scrapes on her hand. And I felt bad, but like, don't jump on my back. I told you not to. And look what happened.
Did you get in trouble?
No, but our parents ended up fighting bad.
Oh God.
Like that's the worst when parents get involved. But that always happens when
Yeah.
you're younger. As I got older, I started to go through a lot of shit in high school. Like my freshman year, I was like severely bullied freshman year. I had to transfer schools. I know I watched your podcast about that. I heard about that shit. I can't believe like it's so funny though because it's like the people that are like actually doing something with their lives are the ones that were bullied.
Right.
And you never realize like that somebody's going through something until you're actually sitting there and you're like, shit, like they've grown. Like nobody realizes that you can grow so much. Like people say, "Oh, you can't change, you can't change." Yes, you can. You can change your mindset, you can change your ambition, you can change your motivation, your goals.
Yep.
And basically so freshman year, yeah, I was bullied. Had to switch schools because of it. And I went to an all-girls school my freshman year.
Oh, that's the worst.
So that was like you can only imagine what I put up with.
Why did you get bullied?
So you know what? I'm gonna have to use a name, two different names that I have to create right now in my head. So basically, freshman year, I went to an all-girls school on Staten Island here, and I was best friends with this kid. We're gonna call him Ben. And basically, me and Ben were close for a little bit, and we were on FaceTime one day. And I was wearing like a tank top. And you've seen my boobs. Like my boobs are pretty big, especially for being short. Like I'm big chested. So one day I'm in a tank top and like my boobs were like out. And like it wasn't like I was in my own home, but like he kind of like, I guess he saw a little bit. So you know what he did? He took a picture, like a screenshot of it, of me, and edited the picture to make it look like my areola was popping out. Like, you know what that is? Okay. I don't want to, I didn't know if that was the right word, but I think it is. So he made it look like that was popping out. And like one of these.
How the fuck did he do that?
I don't even know. Like, I guess he must have like made it darker or some shit in like the corner.
Maybe.
But like, it was bad. Like, I remember this one girl that was like in my friend group at the time. She ended up calling him. I don't know how she found out about the situation, but she ended up calling him. And we're going to call this girl, we're going to call her April because I can't give out the initial of her name, but we're going to call her April. So she ended up calling Ben and was like, hey, like, I heard, like, you have this picture or whatever. He sent her the picture. She sent it around to every school.
But did he do it as a joke?
He did it as a joke, but she was doing it to be evil because I guess she didn't like me.
Okay.
Because the boy that she was flirting with me. And I guess she got, like, butthurt. But we were, like, freshmen. Like, we're 14 years old. Like, you're really going to go and ruin my life over this? Like, whatever. So I ended up I was at tutoring one day, and I get in the car with my mom, and she's silent. And my mom, when she's silent, I know something's wrong. God. I know I'm in trouble. And I was like, what happened? She starts screaming. She shows me the picture.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, how? I'm like, what? And then first of all, I was like, how did she get it, by the way?
Yeah.
So one of my sister's friends, her little sister was in my grade. So she told her sister, and then her sister told my sister. So it was like telephone.
Oh, my God.
So they ended up getting the picture from the girl. I actually ended up getting the girl, April, suspended from school. And I ended up getting Ben suspended for 2 weeks, and he was suspended the rest of his football season that year.
Oh, my God.
He wasn't allowed to play. Because, listen, like, my parents didn't take that shit lightly. Like, I was severely bullied to the point where I was, like, falling asleep in class. I wasn't going to class. I was getting detention almost every single day. Like, I was acting out. I had no friends. I was in and out of guidance counselors.
Yeah.
Like, I was failing almost every class, too. Like, it was really bad. And then later on throughout the year, like, once the year came to an end, I feel like that's when people start to, like, get closer again, because it's like, all right, we're not going to see you for a few months, so let's just be nice. So I ended up becoming friends with a few girls, and I actually am still friends with some of them today. But I didn't tell anybody I was transferring, and then I left and I went to Tottenville High School. And it was honestly, like, the best decision I ever made, because it really, like, broke me out of my shell. Because before that, I was such, like, a little, like, I was very intimidated by everybody. Like,
really?
You would look at me the wrong way, and I would be like, oh my God, like,
really?
What did I do? Yeah, like,
I don't get that vibe from you. Well, now I don't.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Because you know what? I was in a bubble, like, my whole life. I went to Catholic school for like 13, 14 years.
Yeah.
So I was, like, in and out of, like, my little personal bubble, and it just never, like, popped. And I didn't know anything that was going on around me. And I've never seen people fight before. I've never seen anything. And then when I went to that school, everything changed. Yep. It was like, from the second I stepped foot into summer school there was a fight the first day. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in juvie. I was like, what's going on? What's going on? And then there was bars. There was literal bars. The school itself was a prison. So there was bars on the outside of the windows.
Yeah.
And we had no service whatsoever. So I would literally say all the time, like, oh, the school's a jail cell. The school's a jail cell. The school's dirty. Like, yeah. But, like, honestly, I really couldn't see myself going anywhere else. Like, if I didn't go there, I probably wouldn't be the person I am right now, because I would have still been intimidated. I was very, like, growing up, I was very outgoing and very talkative. As you could see, I can talk a mile a fucking minute. But I really was never the type of person to just, like, do anything like this. I would never go on a podcast. I would never be a shock girl. I would never, like, make a first move on a guy. Now,
me too.
I'm the type of person, okay, you want me there? I'll be there. You want me to do this? I'll do this. Now I'm the type of person that's just like, all right, I'll do whatever I have to. Like, I'm getting my name out there now. Like, it's so funny, though. Like, I feel like anywhere you go now, like, and I know you can definitely relate to this. Like, when you go certain places, like, people recognize you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, especially,
every
like,
day.
kids, like, around our age. Yeah. Like, I've gotten, like, I went to the mall one time in Staten Island, and I had a group of kids. They had to have been, like, maybe juniors. And this was, like, last year. They were probably juniors in high school. And I was just walking around the mall with one of my friends. And all of a sudden, one of them goes, I think I know her. I think that's Jackie. And I was like, fuck are you? So one of the kids comes up to me and goes, is your name Jackie? And I go, yeah, who are you? So then the kid was like, oh, like, I recognize you from Tottenville. Like, I
really?
follow you
That's
on Instagram.
Strange.
I know. He was like, I follow you on Instagram. And I was like, okay. Like, thanks for the follow. Like, like, what else do you want me to say?
Sometimes
but,
it's actually awkward. you know,
Oh my
like when you don't know
God.
the person.
Yeah. I've had multiple people come up to me and be like, I know you from Instagram.
Yeah, I've gotten used to it. So
I'm not, because you know what it is? Like, I don't have as many followers as you. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not going to lie. Like, my followers grew a little bit. Like, I've gained, like, you have like 30 times more than me, but I've gained, like, I want to say like 200 since my breakup 2 months ago. And I
do you
feel
think
like
it's from working in a bar though?
it could be. Like, honestly, I think it could be.
Probably like people like posting the flyer.
I don't know. I feel like that shit's so creepy when people just come up to me. Like, I'm not used to that. I mean, you're definitely used to it now. You've been growing. You've been growing your like audience for years.
Yeah.
I haven't.
I know. I can't even imagine how it is for you. It's probably weird.
It really is though. I mean, before I met you, like, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know who you were. But like, not because like in a bad way,
We're
but because
different
you're
ages
older than me too. So like, you're my sister's age. So like, I could see how like she would know you, but like, I had no clue who you were because I wasn't really friends with like much older people. Like the oldest like I was probably friends with was maybe like 2 years older than me. But I ended up like I was like stalking your Instagram that day you texted me. It was so funny. I was like, who is this girl? And I'm looking and I'm like, oh my God, she's going to take all my fucking money. I was like, I'm not going to make anything anymore. I'm like, fuck, like, they're going to boot me. And I was like, shit. But then honestly, like, not gonna lie, some of the other girls, like, I'm not gonna toot my own horn, but I know I'm a pretty girl.
You are.
I know I can make money. I have confidence, and it's all about the confidence.
It is.
Like, you gotta own that shit, or else you're not gonna make money. Hence why shouldn't take no for an answer, and that's why we make money off of guys just buying the whole tray.
Right. So, how was your first impression of me compared to seeing my social media?
Oh my God. I mean, my first impression was I thought you were going to be a bitch.
That's what everyone says. Literally everyone.
I looked at you and I was like, this girl definitely thinks she's fucking so full of herself.
In person or on social media?
On social media. But then when I met you, you were a little quiet, but like I could tell immediately you were like, you were humble about it. Like you're not the type of person to like flaunt your looks. Like you're like me. Like, you know, you're a pretty girl, but you're not going to go out there and be like, all right, I'm sexy, like I'm beautiful. Like, you'll do that shit when you're alone in your mirror or like when you're with your friends, but you would never go out in a public place and be like that.
No.
And I wouldn't do that either. I just feel like girls that are like that, like, it's a cry for help. Like, I could be your therapist. You need help?
I also feel like it's embarrassing to act that way and then have somebody else humble you.
Oh my God.
You know?
It really is though. Like, I've had like ex-boyfriends humble me,
really,
quote unquote.
Like, say what?
They would just be like I remember one of them was like, oh, when we were together, like, I used to think your ass was so big, but it's a door. And I was like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, really? I'm like, what you mean? Like that it jiggles. Like, what do you mean? So he was like, no, like, it suits you because you're short. He was like, but you're like all boobs. And I was like, so my face doesn't count? Like, I'm confused. Like, you dated me, but you're going to go based off my body appearance and not my face and personality? Okay.
He's just mad that
Why don't you cut your man bun off and then come talk to me?
Bro, not the man bun.
Can we talk about the fact, though, that after a guy dates a pretty girl, like their first pretty girl, they turn to like A1 douchebags?
No, they do.
Like, really bad.
Yes.
Like, my recent ex-boyfriend, like, sorry that I'm really gonna out you right now, but anyway, my recent ex-boyfriend, when we were together, we met in February. We got introduced through my cousin and her boyfriend, and basically when I first met this kid, sweet as pie, you would look at him and be like, he couldn't hurt a fly. Like, he was adorable. I just wanted to put him in a bubble and just like keep him there. But we ended up hanging out again because he saw me post the flyer for when we were at Z1 one night. And I wasn't working, but I just posted it because I wanted free admission. But I posted it because I wanted free admission. He ended up showing up that night because
not Anthony texting me.
I know, he's like blowing up my phone right now too. He's like, you guys are doing this podcast, better not be talking shit. But I ended up like asking him, I was like, oh, like, how did you know I was going to be here? He was like, oh, like, me and my friends, we were planning on going to the city, but I saw you were going to be here, so I wanted to come here to see you. And I was like, why didn't you just text me? I'm like, we could hang out, but, like, are you afraid of me or something? And he was like, well, he was like, we started to talk. And he was like, well, you know, you were popular in high school. He was like, you were the popular girl. Like, you were the pretty girl. Like, he was like, I was a loner. He was like, I didn't really, like, know anybody. He was like, I knew of you. He was like, I've seen you around. I looked at him dead in the face, and I was like, I'm not going to lie. This is not any way possible me throwing shade, but I have no clue who the fuck you are. I literally was like, I never heard of your name ever in my life until the day my cousin introduced me to you. I said, I had no clue you even existed. And he was like, yeah, that's exactly the point. Like, he was like, I was
But I like
intimidated
guys
by
like
you.
that.
Yeah, you would
Like
think
low-key
though, but like
guys,
you would think that they'd be like good for you, but like no.
No.
So anyway, that night, the way he approached me was kind of funny. I was in the middle of a conversation with my cousin's previous ex-boyfriend, and I was like, hey, like, just catching up with him. And I ended up feeling somebody tap me on the shoulder. So I turn around and I noticed it was him. And I was like, oh shit. But I was like, you know what? I'm in the middle of a conversation. I don't want to be rude. So I ended up waiting a minute. And then once I finished the conversation, I turned around and I see this kid's in the middle of another two-man. He was literally in the middle of a two-man. And I tapped him on the shoulder and I was like, hey, was that you that tapped me? He was like, yeah, that was me. He left the two-man to come hang out with me. And I was like, oh, okay, great. So I ended up hanging out with him the rest of the night. And that's how we, like, started to talk from there. Ended up dating for about 5 months. He ended up finding out through, like, in the middle of our relationship, he got accepted into his dream college. Like, he's my age, so, like, he's a transfer student. But he got accepted to his dream college. And, of course, like, if you were in my shoes, too, you'd be devastated. You're like, shit, I got to do long distance. It's going to be 1,000 miles apart. Like,
oh, I've done that. It doesn't work.
Yep. Every single person I knew had said to me, and I kid you not, you two are going to last. You two are going to last. You two are so strong. You're so in love with each other. I see the way he looks at you. I see the way you look at him. You're going to last. What happened? Kelly, we didn't even last 2 weeks. We did not last 2 weeks. I ended up getting a phone call from him, actually, while I was home, and he was out there. And there was a big storm in Florida. So he went to school in Florida. There was a
that's
big,
far.
Yeah, so it was 1,000 miles. There was a big storm in Florida, so he had to, like, leave the part he was staying in and go to a separate part, like 4 hours away. So he knew, like, multiple people down in that part he was going to. So he stayed at this kid's house, and I knew this kid too. I used to party with him in high school. So apparently this kid, I'm gonna name him Daryl. So Daryl ended up saying to my boyfriend, your girlfriend cheated on you with one of her bosses at the bar.
Oh God.
And I was like, what? So I'm like, I get on the phone.
Why did he do that?
I don't know. But, like, as I was kind of, like, digging up dirt on this kid, he's fucked over people's relationships because he thought a girl was pretty. So I'm thinking maybe he just wanted, like, a chance with me.
Maybe.
But, like, no.
And your boyfriend believed him?
At the time. So he ended up calling me as I just left the gym. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, hey, like, what's up? Whatever. And he was like, did you cheat on me with so-and-so at the bar? And I was like, what? I was like, what do you mean? I was like, why would I cheat on you? He was like, did you cheat on me? And I was like, no. I was like, I swear on my grandpa's grave, like, I never cheated on you. And he was like, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. And I was like, did you cheat on me? I'm like, I'm confused. Like, he was like, no, so-and-so's telling me that you got with this boss while you were working. Like, you went in the back and, like, got with him while I was gone. So then I was like, what? And this was the boss that you don't know.
Did he even go to the parties, or he just completely made it up?
No, he never went to the parties. He completely made it up. But you want to know the funniest part? You want to know the funniest part? I texted the boss that I supposedly cheated with. He was in Florida. He was in Florida when I supposedly cheated.
No way.
So it was really funny because I ended up calling him and I was like, hey, bro, like, can you just send me screenshots of where you were on this day at this time?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, bro, I've been in Florida the past 4 weeks.
Damn.
And I was like, so I ended up like sending a screenshot of that text to my boyfriend. And I was like, so you believe Daryl now or you believe me, the girl you've been dating for 5 months? We ended up getting into an argument. We were like, you know what? We're not talking anymore. We're not talking. We're done. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to brush it off. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to keep my peace. I'm going to keep my cool.
Do you think trust can be rebuilt?
With me and him now?
Yeah. Or just in general? Do you think that once it's broken, it's done?
Honestly, no. Because, and I'll use this as an example. I like when I fall in love with somebody, like even a friend, like when I'm like passionate about something with somebody, I'm not the type of person to let go of that easily.
Yeah.
I don't like to let go of friendships that I know like are worth saving. And like even the fakest of friendships, like it's hard for me to let go, especially after I've spent almost every day with them.
Right.
Like I feel like that trust can definitely be rebuilt, but you know, if you're going to give that person a second chance, make sure they're going to prove you right and actually change their actions, because if you keep hurting yourself over and over again, you're going to be the fool. Before you met me, I was in like my lover girl era. I was very like cute. Like I wasn't the type of person to get in your face.
Yeah.
I was not the type of person to like be nasty to you. I was not the type of person, like I was always very nice. And then after like the continuous amount of people that like hurt me, like friendships and boyfriends and like situationships too, I just like changed. Like I kind of like put a wall up now and I just don't let people in my life like that.
Yeah.
But
it's better off that way though.
It really is. Because like at this point you're just like, okay, I'm living my life. I'm living my best life. And honestly right now I'm very happy with my life. Like the past month that I haven't been hanging out with the people that I've been hanging out with over the summer, I've been like a completely different person. And like if I were to hang out with them like the person I am now, I'm afraid that if I see them and hang out with them, I might go back to that old person.
Yeah.
Or they might not like the new me.
Mm-hmm.
I have no clue like what's going to happen from here on out. Like I'm the type of person to always plan things. I like having things. I love having things planned. I live in my own Delulu world, if you couldn't tell. So I'm always zoning out and I'm always having like moments where I'm like, he loves me not. Like those type of moments. But I ended up just kind of like switching that mindset after me and my most recent ex broke up. I became very go with the flow now.
Yeah.
Like I'm kind of like, like I'm letting God take the wheel at this point. I'm like, all right, I can't do it anymore. I can't.
Yeah.
Give me my plan. Like whoever's writing my story right now, like please make the next chapter have like a 6 foot tall, like Italian man with like green or blue eyes, like must be tan, a little bit of muscles. That's your type too. Mm-hmm. I could see you with somebody like that. What is your ethnicity?
Italian and Irish.
Are you really? I could definitely tell you're Irish, but I didn't know you were Italian. Well, your last name too. Or is that like Irish, or am I stupid?
It's Irish.
Yeah, I was going to say.
My mom's Italian though. But
full? Damn.
I know.
Do you know what part you're from?
Sicily.
Oh, me too. We're crazy bitches.
Yeah, I know. But in high school, I did have a type. It was tall, light skin, curly hair, you know, whatever.
I could see that.
My ex was a pretty good football player here. Like he was like one of the best. Like he would travel for like football and stuff. So that was my type. And then my last ex was tall, blonde, blue eyes. So I don't know. I used to have a type, but I feel like now as I've gotten older, like
you range.
I really don't have a physical type anymore, but I do go for like, you know, taller, you know, I don't know.
I can either, it's like hard.
I'm not as picky anymore, you know.
Yeah.
I like tattoos though.
That's the thing with me. I think they're hot, but I just like, I don't have tattoos myself. Right. I can't get one because I have such a low pain tolerance. I'm like a crybaby. So, like, I think they're hot on guys, but I've never dated somebody with a tattoo.
Really?
That's a lie. My second ex-boyfriend had one, and it was his high school his high school motto. He literally had, I'm not going to name what high school he went to. I'm not going to name what high school he went to. But they had like this high school motto in Latin, and he got it right here on his forearm. And he took a picture of it on my phone like the day after he got it. And he was like, yeah, me, my dad, and my best friend, we all got matching tattoos. I was like, the Latin motto for your school's logo. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, you got that tattooed on your arm. That's permanent. You want that to stay there. And you want to tell your grandkids, like, yeah, I went to high school here. Like,
stop, because I have a story. Oh my God. I dated some kid and he wanted a tattoo really bad, but he didn't have any. So I was like, okay, let me come with you to get your first tattoo. He was like, yeah, bet. So he made the appointment, whatever. All of a sudden, I'm at work. I get a FaceTime call from him. I pick up and he's literally in the chair getting the tattoo. And I'm like, what the fuck? You were supposed to wait for me. It was the ugliest fucking tattoo I've ever seen. He ended up getting it covered because it was so bad. It was like Roman numerals, his mom's like date of birth, and his stepdad's, but he had like 2 ugly dots here and here, like literally just circles, like dots. And I was like, what the like fuck? Like a
semicolon?
I was like, what the fuck is that? And he was like, yeah, do you like it? I said, no. Please, did you pay for that? Please, like, go get it fixed. Oh. And after we broke up, he ended up getting it covered. And I was like, good. That shit was horrible. Oh, my That shit was literally horrendous.
That's bad.
Bad. Bad. Like, really bad. When he showed me the stencil, it was like 2 tiny dots. But when it was done, it was like full on, like, circles, filled in and all. I was like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
Horrible.
You know what's, like, weird about tattoos? You need to, like, have a specific, like, in order to put it in a specific place, I feel like you need enough meat on your body to have it in a specific place. Like, one of my exes wanted to get one on his thigh. Mm-hmm. And I looked at him and I was like, baby girl, you got no meat on your thigh. Where are you putting the damn tattoo? I was like, I'm not going to lie. Like, yeah. I was like, yeah, it look hot on you. Like, oh my God. Like, because I was in love with him. I was like, oh my God, he looks so good. No. My arm was bigger than him. My arms were literally bigger than his legs. Like, he wanted to get on his thigh.
He's going to look like a chicken.
I know. And I was like, oh my God, I almost just said his name. I had to stop myself. No, but like I said to him, I was like, listen, like, don't do it. And this was like after we broke up. And like me and him, like me and this ex, we're still friends today. Like, we broke up 2 years ago. And like, I'll just tell him like randomly throughout the times, I'm just like, shave your beard, shave your man, like cut the man bun. Like,
oh God.
But like he's genuinely like, he's a good friend though. The only thing that I did want to say though is, you want to know what's weird? Like, going back to the standards thing that we were talking about, people don't respect themselves enough with like to have like high standards. And I kind of feel bad for those girls. But like at the same time, like people also think like a standard and a type is the same thing. Isn't that weird? Like, you know, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like having a type is like a preference. And then having a standard is like respect for yourself.
Do you feel like people base their types off of their exes?
Oh, hell yeah. I feel like, but you know what? A majority of the time, actually. Because I've seen one of my best friends go from like a really big, like, African-American guy to a scrawny white boy. Like, I've seen them like fully switch up.
Do you think types are real? Having a type is real?
I think having a type is real. I think it's just what you prefer, like, your partner to look like. I mean, it's like, but listen, like, you can't help who you're attracted to and who you're not attracted to.
Right.
Like, it's easier for guys to just go up to a girl and be like, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous. Like, they'd be like, if a girl is hot and they know they're hot and they have the confidence, a guy will flat out slide into their DMs. But a girl, I feel like, is much more picky with who they want as a boyfriend and like who they want to like kiss or talk to. Like, they don't want to associate themselves with somebody that they're not interested in, because if you're not interested or attracted to their looks, you're not staying in that relationship.
Right.
But I feel like a lot of girls settle.
They do.
A lot of girls really settle bad. Like, I've seen like,
because they don't want to be alone, probably.
But I've seen like really pretty girls settle for a guy that looks like Shrek.
I know.
But like, also too, usually like hot guys, like, they settle for girls that look like Lord Farquaad. Like, I just don't get it.
Well, that wraps up today's episode. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, listen on Spotify, share, make sure you send to all of your friends. And
Yeah, don't you worry. I'll be promoting the shit out of this.
yeah, and all your friends are going to watch and be like, oh, Jackie was talking about us.
Oh my God. I can't believe this. No, it's fine. I didn't say anything too bad.
No, you didn't. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Because, if I would have started talking about people, I get myself into shit all the time, especially with this.
Really? Oh, yeah. I could see why, though.
Yeah, all the time. But I don't care because
your Kelly is lit.
on that note, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.